What's going on, people? Welcome to United View. Good evening, and welcome to your latest show of Takeover Chaos. Takeover, what the hell's going on this? Good evening to everyone. Hope you lot are just either getting in from work, getting the kids sorted, chilling, about to get your dinner, etc., etc. But again, today, weird, really, really weird. If you thought last night was weird in terms of 9 p.m. world record bid's going to go in, etc., then what happened during this afternoon was weird. Owen, there are two new bids that we do know about. One of them is the hedge fund that we already know about, the Elliott situation. We'll talk about that second. I want to start at this new guy who has come to the forefront and reared his head above the pulpit. What on earth is his bid, and what is his name, and what is it? What is it?
His name is Thomas Ziliakis, and he is a Finnish businessman. And he's
finished. He is finished.
He's finished. He's not finished. He's only 28. Oh, what a classic that is. No, he is a Thomas Ziliakis. He's the chairman of. He has been the chairman of Finland's 30 times football champions HJK, and is the owner of Finland's 6-time ice hockey champions Jokerit as well. And he says that any sport club should ultimately belongs to its fans. He then continues, and he released a full press release regarding his bid, and we're going to get into the minutiae of the bid because it's interesting, to say the least. He says, the current development where billionaire sheikhs and oligarchs take over clubs and control them as their personal playgrounds is not a healthy trend. Ziliakis, therefore, is building his bid in a completely novel way where the fans of Manchester United will have ownership and an equal say in all issues that relate to football decisions at the club. Quote, the current market value of the club is just under $3.9 billion US. That means that if every one of the fans of the club would join in buying the club, the total sum per fan would amount to less than $6. My bid is built on equity with the fans. My group will finance half of the sum needed to take over the club and will ask the fans through a new company that is being set up for this specific purpose to participate for the other half. If every fan joins, it means less than $3 per fan. Each fan who joins will have access to an app which the fan from anywhere in the world can use to participate and cast his vote when deciding on footballing matters relating to the club. No decisions will be taken that are not supported by a majority of the fan base. Now, he carried on talking about other things regarding Manchester United. He said Manchester United should not only be the best football club in the world, it should also be the leading club in the world to stop abuse, racism, hate speech in social media and on sports grounds. Should we be successful in our bid, we will ensure that Manchester United, the best football club in the world, will operate on a foundation of respect, equality, dignity, diversity, racial harmony, and democracy, and with its global fan base included and involved in all decisions. So essentially, what the bid is, he and his partners will be putting up half, which is about 3 billion, I guess, despite the fact that he is a multimillionaire, not a billionaire in terms of his net worth, but he's going to be putting up half. And then he is going to be forming another company in which the fans will be spending $3 to access an app, and the total will be 6 billion, according to him. Flex. Where do you want to start with that one?
That is the biggest load of crap I've ever heard. that is the stupidest thing I've ever heard. It is ridiculous. The maths don't add up. The sentiment don't add up. If you want to buy a football club, you don't put a bid out sabotaging other people's bids and calling people out as to, a football club shouldn't be like what they're trying to do. And you don't do that. It is the stupidest thing I've ever heard. In the old school Caribbean thing, right? There's a thing called a pardoner. Yeah, a thing called a pardoner. Yeah. I don't know if you've ever heard of it, right? And no. it's when someone controls the money. Yeah, one person controls the money, and everyone gets together like a big group of people. Yeah, Caribbeans used to do this a lot. And let me know in the comments if you know what I'm talking about. Yeah, and everyone puts the money in. Everyone pays in each month, and then each month somebody gets the pot and wins. Just like a way of like just, looking after the money and then asking for money from everyone else. I'm just like, it just gives vibes of that, or like a pyramid scheme. Like, honestly, it is so stupid. How many? Hold on. He needs 3 billion. There's only what? There's 1 billion Man United fans in the world. Yeah. So
Yeah.
every single Man United fan would have to sign up for $3. And how do you know that they're going to be Man United fans? And also, I'll say this as well. Fans can't run a football club like completely. They can't. Like, you can't go in an app and say, "Oh, should we sign Victor Osimhen or this guy?" And everyone just
Twitter poll.
Twitter poll, Twitter poll. Like, we do. Like, and here's the thing, yeah. And here's the thing. I'm not shitting on like fans having more say. We want, a fan advisory board, 100%. We need to be in the loop and consulted about things. But ultimately, the end decision needs to land with the people that are, one, putting the money up for the club, and two, that are people who know what they're doing. We're fans, essentially. And I know there's different bits of the fan base and, must and things that can, represent the fans in the right forum and stuff like that. Absolutely needs to happen. But starting an app, yeah, and saying pay $3, everyone can own a bit of Man United, which Liverpool. So what? A Liverpool fan can just pretend, yeah, and say, "Well, I think Man United should buy Arnautovic
For $3. For $3. I mean, this is
I've ever heard.
This is the craziness of it. Is I was like you said, I would even just. I'm not. This is the thing. I'm not totally against the sentiment, right? Of, like you said, having fans more involved in big decisions, key decisions at a club. It's worked across Europe with European clubs, so that part of it, you go, okay. That the idea, the concept of having fans more involved, don't have an issue with that. But just even the logistics of it make zero sense at all. I mean, again, the number that's been quoted as how many Manchester United fans around the world, even that's heavily disputed.
Yeah. It's 1.1 billion, and that's followers and supporters.
Yeah, this is the thing. I was doing the research on this because they were saying that this is based on a study that was done, I think initially it was like a decade ago, and these numbers were heavily disputed because as part of this, they said that like 10%, for instance, or no, 30% of like South Korea's population was a Manchester United fan. They went, no, it's not. That's not true. And to the point, like, what's the difference between a follower and a supporter? If they're saying it's 1.1 billion followers, or because they added up their social media accounts, so it's each person, it's an individual person. It's not the same person across all platforms. I mean, just to give you some numbers as well, for instance, TikTok. Let's take TikTok, for example. Big platform in the news at the moment as well.
Yeah.
That's got 1 billion monthly active users. We're saying, and that's probably the most downloaded app this year, TikTok. And we're saying we've got to replicate those kind of numbers just to make the 3 billion to add up to 6 for the Glazers. And then after that also too, what happens when we actually want to, build the stadium, invest in the training ground? If only we had 200 million more signups. Not only are we going to put it to the vote in the app about what it's going to look like and what it's going to be, to fund it, we need more people to sign up. Look at something like Disney Plus. Disney Plus total subscriptions, 221 million with an M. I mean, to suggest that an app, a Manchester United app, and I get big fan base, but an app is going to have the same kind of level of monthly users as Facebook or Instagram, even Twitter. Twitter, it's only got like 400 million users per month. Twitter, one of the biggest social media apps.
Elon Musk just bought that for how much did he buy that for?
Like 30 odd, something like that. And
was it 30 odd billion?
It was a lot. It's a lot. It was a lot.
Yeah, Jesus.
Like it doesn't add up. It doesn't make sense. And I know, look, we've been doing all the Carve stuff recently, but even he went on Sky Sports in the last hour or so, said that he spoke to some people at Sky News, and they said, take it with a massive amount of caution. One, because the guy's a multi-millionaire, 40, they're saying 44 billion to purchase Twitter. Right. But Carve said, take it with a bit of caution. The guy's a multi-millionaire. This is nowhere near the wealth of a Sheikh Jassim or even Sir Jim Ratcliffe or even like Elliot, who we're going to talk about in a bit. And also, you have to be conscious of people, doing publicity stunts. Because as he said, How do you
Yeah.
get people to talk about you? Say you're going to buy Man United.
100%.
You
100%.
know?
It is, and the reason why obviously we've had to talk about it today is because we were saying how many times were we saying that who are these other people? There's not been anything.
Yeah.
Maybe this is why they probably thought this guy's a wally. Like there's no point even talking about him for. Then he's actually put his second bid through without the extension thing, so more stuff's come out of him, come out about him. And then also what I don't like what he's done about if you talk about. Let's just strip it down away from how stupid the idea is. Yeah, let's look at his delivery. Let's look at that. Let's look at when what you do when you want to buy the club and the formalities. The language that he's used and the way he's gone at. I'm looking at this bit here. The current development where billionaire sheikhs and oligarchs take over clubs and control them as their personal playgrounds is not a healthy trend. Listen, I hate Man City. I don't want them to do anything. They've taken over there, and it doesn't look like they're using that as a playground and just messing about with it and not developing it and stuff like that. And I just think he has to be really careful with his terminology. And I think what he's tried to do is use the terminology and like buzzwords of things that he thinks will get fans on side. So fan, owning, he even goes deeper than that and goes into some serious issues, like racism and, what else does he say? I want to get my facts right here.
Also,
What does he
Flex,
say
by the
about
way,
that?
just while you
Yeah.
find that, it is now being reported within the last couple of seconds by Kaveh Solokol, Sir Ratcliffe and Ineos have submitted a revised bid for Manchester United. Their bid is in.
Is in.
Is in.
Sir Jim Ratcliffe and Ineos have submitted their second bid for Manchester United. Now, what we did see is a Wally from Finland who has tried to convince Manchester United fans that his way would be the right way. But what I am hearing now is that Ineos has indeed bid for a second time for Manchester United. Now, on a serious note,
Yes.
is that all he's put?
Literally, well, it's quite interesting actually. So Kaveh
Is he live
just
now
tweeted,
or something? Or
he's just tweeted, Sir Jim Ratcliffe and Ineos have submitted a revised bid for Manchester United. Mike Keegan from the Daily Mail has said even less. He's just said Ineos bid is in, full stop. And then underneath it, he's gone brackets, honestly. Now,
and he's put Sir Jim Ratcliffe has submitted a new bid. He put as well.
Yeah, I'll try and find out some more.
I think actually, to be
Miguel Delaney is saying that the Ineos spokesperson on the Manchester United sale, quote, Sir Jim Ratcliffe and Ineos can confirm we have submitted a revised bid. So that is their bid is in,
right?
But we don't know details.
The serious guys, actually, you know what? I'll tell you what.
Good timing.
Much more. There's not really much more to say. It's not really much more to say about that guy, that Finnish guy. He's finished. Yeah, your bid's finished, mate. Yeah, get out. It's done. I think someone said Simon Stone's going to see what.
Yeah, he just said the same. Basically, they've all been given that Ineos statement saying Sir Jim Ratcliffe and Ineos can confirm we've submitted a revised bid.
Right. Okay. So nothing in terms of fee, what it is, world record fee, but for it to be a day after the deadline yesterday, of course, a little bit of revision going on, a little bit of let's revise this bid, let's tweak it, etc., etc. I think it's interesting that we don't know anything about how much it is yet.
Well, they're saying revised. So if it's revised, then his initial bid, I believe, was at 4.5. So possibly maybe we're looking at maybe closer to 5. I mean, that would still be a world record bid. That's what the news was last night, wasn't it? Saying that Sheikh Jassim and Sir Jim Ratcliffe, Ineos's bid was going to be a world record bid. So again, hopefully, whilst we're live, I mean, we've still got about 45 minutes. What perfect timing. Look at that.
It is perfect timing. Perfect timing. But I'll tell you what, let's talk a little bit about Sir Jim Ratcliffe. His bid's in. His bid's in, we've been told. And you know what? Obviously, a lot of people have been favouring the Qataris, etc., etc. Sir Jim Ratcliffe is serious. Like he is trying to, he fully. This isn't like the Chelsea one. He's already submitted more than what Chelsea was. Obviously, he missed out on that. And what Chelsea went for? What did it go for? 4 or 3 point something in the end? Or no, no 2 point, or was it like 2 points? I don't actually know what it was.
Chelsea takeover price, because this gets kind of muddied up.
It changes all the time, doesn't it?
4.25 billion pounds.
Right. Okay. So, and he didn't get it, did he? So he would have had to go higher than that to show some intent for Man United. And people have kind of not wanted Sir Jim Ratcliffe because the debt. I don't think there was talks of that getting written off properly. The fact that he's got to obviously get so much money, basically get loans in to make it happen. Whereas the Sheikh Jassim situation was more, I've got it all already. I'm coming in. I'm clean swooping everything. Debt's gone, etc., etc. But I mean, a lot of people. I mean, how do you see it, Owen? I mean, a lot of people have kind of said, "No, excuse me, no, Sir Jim Ratcliffe, no, not for me." A lot of people said that, but then I've spoken to a lot of people, kind of, some journalists and some other Man United fans that I spoke to, and I've seen people say they wouldn't mind Sir Jim Ratcliffe, but as it stands, it's interesting that his bid is in.
It's funny because I'm not going to rule it out. I'm not.
You can't.
Because again, ultimately, what do we want to get to? We want to get to the Glazers not being involved at all. Forget minority stuff, forget all this kind of stuff. We don't want that. We want a full takeover. The only issue is that I have with the Ineos one is there's just, I wish KG was here to press the button. There are just red flags, aren't there? That's the worry, when it comes to, it's a takeover of the majority shareholding of Manchester United, which is 69%, which is the Glazer share. At the same time, it's not removing the debt that's already against the club. There is concern that obviously he's having to get loans to facilitate actually making this bid in the first place, which isn't against Manchester United, it's against Ineos. But I understand the reservation from some people when they say, but if he's got those loans to pay off, is that going to prohibit him possibly investing money into the club, into getting a new stadium, into working on the training ground? But then I also saw today, I don't know if you saw this, Flex, that Paul Mitchell is leaving Monaco.
Yeah.
And they were saying that one of Ineos's sort of things that they've earmarked to do, if indeed they were to, become the custodians of Manchester United, would be to put Paul Mitchell into a role at United. They don't know what that is, but they would be considering it. Which again,
and he's obviously working over there in France as well, and obviously, yes, Ratcliffe's at Nice, so Liga, they know him well. Everybody knows Paul Mitchell well and the work that he's done.
But it doesn't feel like my red flag is that it doesn't feel like a total clean break, if you will. Not that it's going to be more of the same, not that it's going to be as bad, because I don't think it would. And I do genuinely, I don't buy into those people that go, he doesn't have the club's best interest in heart. I believe in his mind he does. I believe in his mind he genuinely does. But at the same time,
it's about resources as well. That's the thing.
What's that guy's name? His right-hand man, Sir Dave Brailsford, I think his name was. And he got put into Nice in a sort of football executive role, no footballing experience, a lot of experience with Team Sky and the cycling, put in there at Nice. And that was one of the things that the Nice fans were saying, we don't know about that. This guy's never done football before. What's going on with that? Just because he did cycling, that doesn't mean it translates over here. And that's one thing to do with Nice. No disrespect to Nice fans. It's one thing to do at Nice, but to do that at Man United, get someone in, no footballing experience. We've walked down
this road. We've been there.
We've done that. And where did it lead us? So unless they're saying, no, it would be Paul Mitchell and Sir Dave Brailsford. But still, again, you go, I don't know. But if you're saying it's got to be Sir Jim or the Glazers all day, or Sir Jim or minority, Sir Jim all day.
Ben Jacobs says, Sir Jim Ratcliffe's new bid is improved from his first offer and is very competitive. It is based on confidence and positivity from in-person meetings last week. So again, we're still not getting a number. No journalists are saying it's in the region of. We're not getting a number, but it's not rocket science, is it? It's not rocket science, because we had rough estimates or guesstimates of what the first sets of bids were, which obviously then after that, not high enough for the Glazers. Glazers would like more posturing, etc., etc. We haven't even got to the Elliott Fund bit yet.
Well, when they say competitive with who? because if you think about it, there's only really one person that he's going to be competitive with when it comes to going that high, isn't it? Which is Sheikh Jassim's bid.
Sheikh Jassim,
So
yeah, exactly.
do they believe that it's similar-ish to what they're putting in? You know, to be honest, if you were really sort of smart and you're from the 9-2 Foundation, you'd now start having words going, "Hey, how much did they put in?"
Up it a bit, yeah, exactly.
You know,
I wonder if they're privy to that.
They can find they shouldn't be, but these things happen. These things tend to leak out. You know, maybe they will have a word. Isn't that something you would do? I know I would immediately. It's the thing at the auction, isn't it?
You want to know? You'd
£45, £45 and a penny.
just do the +1. Just try and do the Arsenal trying to get Luis Suarez thing. I just it's proper crazy because the Sir Jim Ratcliffe situation, like I said, I feel like it's hard on social media, but that's our kind of main way, especially with what we do. It's our main way of connecting with fans across the world, right? Otherwise, how would we know? How would we connect with you guys across the world? You know, it's social media and YouTube, etc., etc. It's online, but it's hard to quantify that when you feel like a lot of what people have been saying towards Sir Jim Ratcliffe has been quite negative online, versus some people that you might speak to in person who are like, you know what, I wouldn't mind that, as long, I've spoken to some people who have said, you know what, we don't even need someone with endless pots of money. We just need someone who can oversee a stadium rebuild. So that's 1 billion, build the training ground thing for 2 billion. And just keep us ticking. We make money. We don't have to have the absolute richest,
lot, isn't it? That's
but
the problem.
It does start totting up, because when you say 1 billion for a stadium, and really Tottenham Stadium was 1 billion, wasn't it? I think it was 1 billion. Their new stadium,
and that was over budget.
And that was over budget. And guess what? That was 60,000 as well. Like, if Man United is already 75,000, we can't build. If we're going to knock it down and start again or do some whatever, it's got to go up from 75,000. That's the whole point. It has to be 90,000, really, or 80,000 minimum. But why would you? I think so. I think so.
Are we not at the stage where if you completely modernize the whole thing, but you kept the capacity? I mean, I get your.
Why would Man United not want to have more than 75?
Oh, they would, because they could fill it. There's not a case of not filling
it.
But
we could fill Wembley every single week.
If it was a Sir Jim thing, do you think it might be a bit like, look, I can afford to modernize it, but talking about adding lots and lots of new seats in?
Exactly. And what's the point? The whole
does that price add up even more?
Yeah, of course it does. Because that's what I was just about to say. It was 1 billion for Spurs Stadium. I'm sorry, call me, deluded or greedy or whatever, but I'm being honest. Like, what's the point in us doing this whole big rebrand and a whole big sale, and then if you're going to build a whole new stadium, and then it has the same capacity as before? I don't see the point in that. If we're going to go big with this thing and build a new stadium, I want more. I want 90. I want 90 minimum.
How much could we fill each week, do you think, max?
Mate, if Barcelona, put it this way, if Barcelona has the highest average attendance in Europe at, like, I think it's 88,000 or 85,000, something like that. Man United could do that easy. So, and that's a 90,000 capacity in the Camp Nou. So really, I think if we built a 90,000 seater stadium, we'd get 80, 85 every week. Easy.
I say we can go higher.
Yeah.
Make it 100.
90. Oh, 100. Mate, it's Man United. Of course.
Why not?
Yeah. Because
but at the same time,
we have to be careful with stuff like that.
But no, at the same time, my point is just at the same time, again, those prices escalate. We're talking about 6 billion just to buy.
Yeah.
And then we're talking about, again, if we're talking about all singing, all dancing, new stadium, 100,000, that's over 1 billion.
That's what I mean. Spurs was 60.
Considering where Old Trafford is as well, the location.
Exactly.
And, all of those issues, what are you going to do?
I'm going to say 2. I'm going to say 2 billion.
I said it last night to KG almost jokingly, but when they're talking about, we're going to do with the train behind it on that side and all that kind of stuff. Yeah. Sheikh Jassim, buy the train. So.
No, but that's what he's on. That's the type of.
That's the level.
Yeah, that's the level. That is the level.
That's the level. City did it. Their stadium, they didn't own it. Remember when they came in? Because that was built for
bought off
the
the
Commonwealth
council,
Games. Yeah. And then it was like, well, we own a stadium now. It's ours.
Yeah. I will put another arena next to it.
Yeah.
It's just take the piss. So and they do. But this is what I'm saying though. That's the benchmark. Like, we have to get real with this thing. Like, and this is why I'm not saying, look, I think it's unfair for me to sit here and say I definitely know Sir Jim Ratcliffe can't do that. I get that. But I know that the Qataris can do that. Do you know what I mean? Or Sheikh Jassim can do, in terms of, that is what has been widely reported about the depths of the funds from Sheikh Jassim. And look, like I said, whoever takes over the club, whoever it is, because I think it's really unfair to sway people and make people think this or make people think that. All you can do is discuss it out loud and then put your opinion, because we got to a point where it was, if you don't want Qataris, you're this, or if you don't want Sir Jim Ratcliffe, you're this, or if you do want Sir Jim Ratcliffe, you're this, and if you do want Qataris, you're this. It gets very, very, it's terrible. It's like when Brexit was there, or when it comes to election day and you got to vote and shit like that. I don't like stuff like that, especially when it's played out online. People can say what they want to people and belittle people, and it gets quite silly quite quickly. So that's one thing I definitely don't want this platform to be, and that's why the way we've reported on these takeover bids, we've always been careful not to be like that. But I think we are at the point where, and not even just at the point, in general, we have to give our opinion. That's what this is. It's about opinions. If you can't come here and give your opinion, then what's it for? So, in my opinion, I just feel like I question Sir Jim Ratcliffe's ability to invest at that level, at that depth. Do you know what I mean?
That's my feeling of it as well. As I don't question his ability to purchase Manchester United or get the funds together to do that deal. I think that's very, very possible. And look, he was like Sheikh Jassim's representatives. He was touring around Old Trafford. He went to Carrington. He had the meetings. He was there himself personally. He said he wanted to have the personal touch and all that kind of stuff. And he's got the loans together from JP Morgan and Goldman Sachs at a time where getting loans, I know he's Britain's wealthiest man, but it's not easy considering the current financial and economic climate with banks collapsing and all that kind of stuff, particularly in American banks. So for him to do that shows that he can get that money together. But to your point, my only worry is when I look at that piece that the Telegraph wrote the other day, when they're saying actually Sheikh Jassim's total commitment to United might actually be about 7 billion, maybe even more than that, like 8 or 9, really, when you're looking at the total to purchase the club, to wipe the debt, to do a new stadium, to work on the training ground, then invest in the men's team, the women's team, the academy, and all of the the community and all that kind of stuff. And you just feel like, that's not to say that can't happen under Sir Jim, but that might take considerably longer because that process to work all those things out might take a little bit longer, and that's the concern that I have.
I agree. It's just Danny says, super chat here says, well-established apps like Twitter have 556 million users. This is a complete pipe dream, in the bin. Yeah, we've moved on a little bit from that. That's from earlier on, with the stupid bid earlier on. It's just Danny also says, I feel less uncomfortable with a Saudi bid. Weird. Who's it? It's just what best owner would that has got a clue. No, I've not got a clue. And Jim is broke. We want Qatar, says TCM. Look,
that's what's funny is like people when they say like they get because it's again, this is the kind of money we're talking about here, because world record, right? The record for a sporting franchise is, I think, 3.75. I forget what it is. It's for the Denver Broncos, and it was last year, right? And Britain's wealthiest man, I say this, but it's true. Britain's wealthiest man might not be wealthy enough. How nuts is that?
Yeah.
Like people, what they say in the chat and almost ingest, so Jim's broke. He ain't.
No.
He's very well. He's very, very rich.
Man in Britain, isn't
he? Yeah. But the numbers we're talking about here are so high. And as we said this morning, the asking price isn't actually known too. That's a part of it as well. It's crazy. It is. But the bid's in. And now we wait, I suppose, for the next one, which was seemingly going to be from Sheikh Jassim. And they were saying, wouldn't they, that it could be in by Friday, maybe. So there still could be time. And if they were wanting to take their time to fine tune things and make sure the bids looked a certain way, or they dotted the I's and crosses the T's, then I'd definitely be picking up the phone at the moment. 1,000,000%.
Trying to find out, because the bid's already in, and then the deadline is now tomorrow 9 p.m. We've been told. You would be trying to get the upper hand, and you'd just go that little bit higher, or you'd see what you'd stretch it to, or like I said all along, because I think don't know if it was Carve or somebody else said that there's going to be even a third round of bidding as well. Like it's
possibly
the stages just keep going and going. It all depends on the Glazers. If they go, like we said, the Dickinson's real deal thing, I think you can do a little better than that.
Yeah, I'm giving you 20. 40.
And then you're looking at them, and you're looking at them, just trying to wait for their face to just change as you put down the. It's kind of like that. I know that is real layman's terms. This is the sale of Man United here. I don't know Dickinson's real deal. If you haven't seen it, it's probably not the best comparison, but
it's quite a niche.
The principle, yeah, basically, you have to be at home doing nothing during the middle of the day.
Yeah.
No,
it's true. But look, I think it's certainly interesting when you say about there could be a third round of bids. They were saying that, again, that's dependent on what these offers are in terms of monetary value. If it's close to what the Glazers are thinking, they'll enter a period of exclusivity with that person, and they'll try and thrash out to get to where they want to get. If it is, which it looks like, if it's like 5 billion, then they'll go in for another round and they'll say, nope, not enough. Or if they really, in their eyes, people start to really take the piss, they'll start picking up the phone to Elliot and go, so about that minority ownership thing you're looking at. Because
actually, we didn't get a chance. We didn't get a chance to talk about it today at the top of the show, because we was talking about that stupid publicity stunt first, and then as we were live, the Sir Jim Ratcliffe news broke of the second bid. But actually, one of the people who did make the deadline yesterday was Elliot. Fund. What was that actually, Owen? What is the latest on that?
So this came from the Times and was widely reported as well, that Elliott Investment Management has submitted an offer for a minority stake in Manchester United. Sources said an offer was filed Wednesday before the 9 p.m. deadline, as you mentioned, for a, quote, small amount of common stock in addition to a funding offer for any bidder. So there is still the possibility that they could actually combine with another bidder. So we talk about Sir Jim Ratcliffe. Maybe one of the loans he actually gets is from Elliott. Maybe that's what they do. I mean, don't rule it out. Do not.
Elliott are that. They're the people who basically what they're saying is, look, we're not on outright. We're just investors. We just want to just put a bit in and get some money back. I don't want to take on this whole football club and run it and go through all of that malarkey. We're a fund. We're a hedge fund. We've got a lot of investors in this thing, and we can help people be there, help fund, etc. Injection of cash.
And also, they're being quite, you could think, quite calculated, because when they see the competition of people like Ineos and Sheikh Jassim, they'd be like, look, there's no way we win that battle. We ain't got that kind of money to compete. What we can do though is try to appeal to the Glazers' ego and say, look, those guys can come in and give you all that money, but we can give you just enough that you can stay. We'll help you out. We just want a little bit of the pie. That's all we're looking for.
Yeah, and so they would get that, and they would get a return on that. They would.
Yeah, and then so they're not really bidding for the club; they're more bidding to the Glazers' ego, really. And they might now say, "Look, we did it before the 9 p.m. deadline too. We played by the rules, Rain. Rainbank. Yeah. So don't rule them out. It's a concern, because that as a United fan, you go, that's the way out. That's what they're looking for. That's the injection of cash. They've burnt through it and they get another one. Exactly. Again, is that enough to pay for a new stadium? I don't know. Is that enough to pay for the training ground? I don't know. Is this just enough to keep things running? The dividends can come back out. We can up the cash balance a little bit. We can buy some players in the summer, but things ultimately will stay the same. That's my concern with Elliott. Again, it's not just about buying in. It's about what you're going to do afterwards. How are you going to fix all of these issues? Because if the Glazers stay, and heaven forbid that they do, but if the Glazers stay and, it's like, oh, Elliott, yeah, they saved us. It's fine now. But we still haven't done the stadium. We still haven't done the training ground. We're still falling rapidly behind all of the other clubs that are investing. Then what have they done? They haven't fixed anything. They haven't cured Manchester United. They'd still be absolutely sick as a club. So they've just somehow got, I guess, like a stay of execution somehow. that we thought wasn't going to happen. So it worries me that this one does worry me, because I think it's
real.
possible.
It's there. Exactly, bro. That's what I'm saying. This really is a thing, you know, and we have to. Those guys can literally help the Glazers stay at this football club, and that's what I was saying last week on the Flexing KG show when he was like, "Oh, don't be like that. Don't be. No, it's gonna be fine." I'm like, "Listen, man, you're giving them a way out. There is a way out there for them." And WJ Barrett says, "Late to the party, but just had to fast forward. I love how you're teaching Owen about the Yardman Jamaica pardoner." Yeah, Owen is well cultured with the with UV. Glory, UV. Yes, the pardoner. That is it. Owen's going to start his own partner.
I'm not cultured at all. There are plenty. I mean, what was the one I said the other day that I had no idea when I said it, and I was like, oh,
Skeng face or Skeng. Yeah, no, what that was. Yeah, but you are learning more things.
Oh yeah, I'm trying. I've always got an open mind. Always open mind.
You are learning more things. If you're just joining us, just as we predicted today. Bids coming out from out of the blue, and also second bids going in. Officer Jim Ratcliffe of Ineos. We are waiting to see when Sheikh Jassim's bid will go in as well. And that is the main update from today. The fact that there were two bids. One was from the Elliott hedge funds that made it through. That's for a minority stake, and one was from the Finnish businessman. What's his name again? I keep forgetting his name.
Thomas Ziliakis. Yes. What do you think, by the way? What do you think of David Ornstein was on Sky Sports News earlier, and he was saying basically there is more than meets the eye. That was his quote, and he was suggesting that the bidding and the purchasing process for United may take longer than what's suggested. What do you think about that?
I agree, 100% agree. I think the turn of events last night and what we're seeing now, I think it just shows us that that's probably going to happen. Obviously, look, everything can change really quickly, but I agree with that. I think it is going to take longer than we thought, because it's just so complex and it's just so big. And on top of that, it's the Glazers, man. It's the Glazers. They're not just simple people who, again, want the club to go to really good hands and want it seamless transaction, or they just want the most money, and they would do every single trick and stunt to be able to do that. That is, and at the end of the day, that's business, isn't it? Like that, you want to get as much as you can, but they're not, because they don't love United like that, and it's just time for them to move on. They're not, like I said, they're not moving on because they have to. They're moving on. They're only going to move on if it's better for them. They're only going to move on if it really, if they can really maximize, what they want to get out of it. And right now, they clearly haven't been tempted enough, because nothing's been accepted yet. That's the facts.
Yeah, and again, from the Times, they were saying one insider said there was a concern that, quote, this whole thing has been a huge pantomime with Manchester United bids way below the Glazers family's expectations. But that first bit saying that this has become a massive pantomime, it has. Like last night was the one of the first. I mean, obviously, look, takeover processes and people declaring interest publicly and then trying to sort of not manipulate the media, but get their sort of manifestos out there. That happens, all this kind of stuff. But last night, I go back to it, was farcical. I mean, now again, the guy that's come out today, the Finnish businessman, that's farcical. Let's be honest, that's crazy. And
a lot of people calling it publicity stunt.
Yeah, publicity stunt. I saw some from the Mirror just say that people within it are saying it's a publicity stunt, but it all gets messed up in this entire process. And I know that these things aren't simple, and I know that they're complex, and that's why, in fairness, when we heard those things and they said, "Oh, takeover could be done by April," and everyone went, "You're having a laugh, yeah?" Because this was like February or something. And we said, no chance. And especially now, I saw something where some people were saying that there was this theory amongst some that this was all about the Glazers wanting to get the share price up so they could secure a possible loan as well for Manchester United. I mean, today, the share price, after what happened last night, it's actually down. quite considerably. It's down like nearly 9% because of what
it's
happened
terrible.
last night.
It's plummeting.
Because
Yeah.
again, rightfully so,
uncertainty.
people on Wall Street, they would say, they go, what's going on there? I thought there was going to be a sale.
It's not stable. Yeah, it's not. It's not stable. It's literally you don't know what's going to go on. Obviously, Fabrizio Romano has come through, just reiterating what everybody else has done. He's tweeted the Ineos Group spokesperson's actual quote. So Jim Ratcliffe and Ineos can confirm we have submitted a revised bid, which again, all the journals have that line. And he also says Sheikh Jassim's Qatar Group are preparing their final bid too, which again, we do know already, but Fabrizio Romano coming to the party as well. As per the irony of as per Fabrizio Romano always does, gets in there. Got to get his 10 pence in there as well. It's fascinating, isn't it? We said it this morning, didn't we? We said we just got to be prepared for this crazy, setup, this crazy situation where we're going to go from pillar to post. And now what's going to happen? Because, the next question is, I know it's a bit hard. It's almost impossible to answer, but we just discuss it. Imagine the Glazers accept one of these.
Well,
imagine they do.
I'm just looking at that Romano tweet, and this might just be a simple, English isn't his first language, so it's just a bit of a miscommunication in what he said there. But do you not find that a bit curious where he says Sheikh Jassim's Qatari Group preparing their final bid too? Do they mean final bid as the final bid for this round? Like this is their final, like again, going back to a coursework example, you've got your drafts. If there's a draft bid, but we're preparing the final one, but then it can go back. Or is it final as in, look, this is it. This is the one. This is the one. This is $6 billion.
True. We can go through it with a fine-tooth comb, and you can draw that. You can draw that conclusion.
That's the stage we're at, Fleck.
Yeah, you've literally got to cling on to every single word. Yeah.
Final? What do you mean by final bid? What do you mean by that?
Like I'm with Marquis. He said this ain't a boxing match. We don't need 12. We don't need 12 rounds. We don't. We really don't. But the way it's going, maybe we might get that. Honestly, it's been insane, and it's only gonna get.
What do you think happens if Sheikh Jassim and his 9-2 Foundation just go $6 billion?
$6 billion. They got to accept.
What do you think would happen?
I think the Glazers would accept.
Do you think they actually would? Because this is the thing, isn't it? Because remember, he said, Carvey said before that, Carvey said a lot of things. So if you don't remember,
yeah, exactly.
But he said that they were willing to overpay. Granted, any bid over 3.5 billion is overpaying because that's the market cap for the club. But he said he was willing to overpay. I would be curious to see if they did put 6 billion on the table, what the Glazer reaction would be.
What do you think they'll do?
I don't know.
You actually can't call it, yeah.
Genuinely, I don't know because I don't think they know either.
Yeah,
I think sometimes when you've got something not that you like, but you're not really keen on selling, but someone goes, "Oh, put it up for sale, sell it," and you go, "All right," and they put a price up really high, and then someone actually says, "Okay, yeah, I'll give you that."
Yeah,
and then you have to
go, "Oh shit!"
You go, "Shit!" Like what?
But it did take a while to get there, though. Well, two rounds of bids, but what you think? Hold out more and then try and get 6.5 or something.
Well,
like that,
that's my question. Would they go? We want 6.5, or we want 7?
Just to see. And then when they go no, they go, all right, we'll take 6.
I don't know. Because the question is, do they actually want to sell it? That's the real question.
To get a bid tabled of 6, what? And you mean and then take the minority after all of that?
I don't. Yeah.
Or no. Actually, no. They can't stay as they are. Action
no, they can't.
Needs to happen.
They have to get. They have to get something.
They have to do minority, or they have to do this majority. There's only A or B now, in it. There's only A or B. So yes. I think we can rule out them going, we had you, just going to go back to normal. That's not going to happen. That's 1,000,000%. That's not going to happen. That can't happen now. But then it goes into, like we've always said, the choice between A and B, which is keep getting dividends each year and still get the power of saying you own Man United and all of this stuff, or take the $6 billion and have the relationship with the Qataris or Sir Jim, whoever it's going to be, Sir Jim, and go on to new ventures and say, right, we've had Man United, we owned that for 17 years. You know, we made what? We made 4.5 billion out of it. Do you know
Yeah.
what I mean? They bought it for 500 and they sold it for 5, let's say. Unbelievable.
My worry is it's like that, you know, when you're in a job, not that they like Manchester United, but they like being the owners of Manchester United. They like the dividends every year.
Yeah.
They like their situation. But you're in this job that you really like, and you go, I'm never leaving this job unless I get an offer for somewhere else that's ridiculous. And then you get that offer. And
That
then you
is
actually have
ridiculous.
then you have to have the question of, I tell you what, I really like it here.
Yeah.
But that's a lot of money. And sometimes people take the money. Sometimes people go, yeah, no, nothing can make me leave.
Even
You
though
know,
they know the hostility that, like I said, they don't care about
they
that.
don't care about that.
No, they don't care about that.
And also, this is still sticking with this scenario. You get the job offer that's worth a lot more money, but you don't really want to leave the job that you've got. You have a conversation as well, and they go, actually, we'll give you a bit of a raise to stick here. It's not a lot. It's still not enough that like it would be with this other place, but we'll give you a little bit more money. You go, oh,
Yeah.
actually, I don't know.
You just don't know. I do. I know, obviously, I don't know, and I've said I'm worried that they could stay. I do feel they will sell the club. I do. I do. Slightly more. I do slightly. If you're asking me to really put, if you said I had to make a bet, you know what I mean? I had to choose one. I have to. If you put a gun to
Put
my head and
flat
say you have to
cash,
choose one,
flat cash on
yeah,
the table.
bet cash on the table. I would say sale, full sale. I personally think. And that's through gritted teeth, because that, like, I've been really vocal about being really nervous as soon as Elliot came about. Really,
Mm.
really nervous about that. And I'm 100% not ruling it out. But if I had to choose one, I would go sale.
My feeling
Full sale.
is that Qatar or Sheikh Jassim will eventually reach that 6 billion threshold. I, sitting here, cannot tell you what I think the Glazers would do. I don't know. I don't even know
You
how I
haven't even
feel.
got what would you do? Well, yeah, it's crazy. I've never seen you like this, because
Don't know.
you can articulate how
I don't know.
what you think. You actually don't. What
I
if I
think
was to say, if I did that to you, put gun to your head and said you only have to choose one,
yeah,
even if it was a fraction of a half of a percent or a point of a whatever, like edge, and it's like, what would you go for?
I'd say they'd ask for more.
Yeah, yeah, okay, I agree, but full sale or partial sale?
The thing was, I think they'll go to 6 billion, and I think they'll
And
ask for
still
more.
ask for more.
Yes.
Okay, I will match you with a strong opinion like that. I think if 6 billion comes in, I think they take it and run. But my caveat to that is, I don't think this bid is going to be that. So it might go to a third, and they might keep pushing to get to the 6, or to
And
like
for
5.8
the
or
record,
something
if
like
I
that.
was the Glazers, I wouldn't ask for more. You've taken the piss. If they offered me
Yeah.
5, I'd be like, this is crazy. I'm taking this and going home. But I think they'll ask for more. I really do. Because now with this whole, like, you know, wow, this asking price is actually a bit fluid. No one really knows what it is. It might go up a little bit higher. Maybe they get into that exclusivity. In fairness, I do think if they come close to 6, I do think they'll enter that bit of
I think they'll do it.
exclusivity, and then it'll be the negotiating
Just
period.
I mean, I know we can do a poll and it's really easy, but just actually for interaction purposes, and it's just nice for everyone to just actually physically type and get involved sometimes in the chat. Just type what you think. Just put full or part. That's all I want you to put. Full sale or part sale. You can put the sale
As
if you
to
want, but just
what they think is going to happen at this point in time.
At this point in time, what do you think is going to happen? Full or part? Just put that, and we'll get a consensus of what really wins. A lot of full coming in there straight away.
Yeah.
Essence
Not
full.
what you
IME
want.
full.
Not
what you want. Not what you want.
Not what you want.
Think will
What
happen.
in your heart of hearts, what you think is actually going to happen.
I mean,
it's a lot of fools.
It's looking kind of full still.
Yeah,
it's looking kind of.
So
full.
they believe that it will indeed happen.
The chat. Yeah. Yeah. There's more. There's more full. It's about 60-40 at least. full. Actually, it's more than that. Probably
Yeah,
70,
a lot of
30.
people. Oh,
Yeah.
I think that's strong confidence, and I like that. And maybe it's I'm just getting a bit too paranoid about the Glazers' true intentions.
Hash just says KG out for no reason. Just
Well, you know,
um,
sometimes you need to. Sometimes you need to just get those things out there, don't you?
yeah,
You know?
100%. But it is. I can clearly see. Well, the community thinks it will be full. There are a few parts that dotted about the place, though. No, there are.
Mm.
But it's full is what people are going for. But again, we're all in that same space where we don't know, do we? We don't
Or are
know.
they just playing games again? Maybe it could be in their minds. They go, no, we're definitely selling, but we've got to make sure.
We just got to.
You know,
Which again, that would fit into it. You do have to do
that
that.
would make sense. Yeah,
It
yeah.
would make sense. You
You
don't
got to
just if
lie.
you're going to sell something this big, you don't just go, first round of offers come in. Also the Rain Group are going to be advising them on how to do this as well.
Yeah, that's
And what
true.
to do. That is
The
their job. I was
Dickinson's
just
real deal. That is they're the David
100%.
Dickinson. You don't want to take
They,
that.
David. Out of just to have it's handy. I was just on their website and just going through, exactly what they do, which we know what they do, but I just wanted to see it in words. And it says, helping clients source capital to drive growth with a strategic focus using global network to create strategic partnership, growth equity, using industry expertise and network to identify emerging trends and source attractive investment opportunities, driving growth through active involvement and strategic guidance. Here you go, providing insights, guidance, and transaction execution.
Man, that business ease is strong in those
Crazy.
paragraphs. If you've
Driving
ever been sat in
acquisition.
those marketing meetings or whatever, where you someone's talking for like half an hour and you go, they've said nothing.
Yeah.
They've just
100%. Driving acquisition strategies and creating attractive exit opportunities for clients. That one right there.
That's the
Driving
one.
acquisition strategies and creating attractive exit opportunities for clients. Now, look, I know all of this is, that's what they do, but it's just interesting to see it, written out, and then it makes you, it reminds us that actually the experts have been brought in for a reason. The Glazers are greedy and stuff, but you still need these types of people to walk you through this process. Just because you've got loads of money, rich people don't just get to meet up by themselves and make these things happen. That's not how it works.
They've got to sort out the United takeover anyway, Rain, because they've got to sell WWE. They got multiple things going on. They got to figure it out. Yeah, and that's even more.
That is crazy. I was looking at just to be nosy, just for no reason. I was just looking at all these people. I just went to the team of who they all are, and there's just all these partners: Jeff Ravitch, Joe Ravitch, Jeff Sine, Deborah May, Jason Strutra, Colin Neville, partner, all these partners. Then there's venture capital partner, managing partner of Rain Ventures, managers partner of Next Gen Communications, venture advisor, venture capital partner, managing director. So many managing directors. Jeez, look at this. Oh my goodness. Director of finance, chief financial officer, vice president. There are a lot of rich people. Oh, we got the brothers. A lot of rich people. So I just saw two black guys in there. Big up Joe Tillman and Stephen.
I was marveling at Flex reading out the Rain group. I was thinking, is this where this stream's got to? Flex reading out the org chat.
Big up my guys. There's two of us in there. Love that. But no, that is, that it's just fun. It's just interesting to see it written out like that, of what they actually do. They are advising the Glazers every step of the way.
And
yes, the
right.
Glazers are greedy, but that's what it is.
You're right too, aren't they? If they get a bit of 5 billion in, say from Sir Jim or Ineos, they'll tell the Glazers we've got 5 billion. You go, I wouldn't take this if I were you.
Exactly. Don't just leave them to it. They've been paid millions.
We get more. And also, surely they get like a finder's fee. They get points on the deal, right? Surely. So they'll be like, we want more. We want more than that. And to be honest, I bet those sort of boundaries were set when they first had those conversations with Rain. We ideally want 6. And they go, well, look, if we can get you 6, we want this. We want this portion of the pie. And remember as well, that's a pie that's getting divided up a lot. You've got the 6 siblings, you've got Rain as well, you've got the legal teams, they want to make sure that everyone's taken care of. you know, and obviously to you and I, you'd say 5 billion, more than enough. You're all taken care of, but they've got their number. And this is why I'm saying, if I was Sheikh Jassim, test the waters, test their resolve, call the bluff, see what happens, see what they'll say. Yeah. Because again, there's the speculation that, oh, actually, do they really want to sell? Find out, see what happens.
Yeah. Test the resolve. Just before we wrap up, just an interesting one for you. Still have to pay respect. Ronaldo has become the most internationally capped player ever.
I saw that, yeah.
As he starts for Portugal tonight. So that is another tick on his list of things that he's done in his career that he's absolutely smashed. I saw him talking about United earlier, kind of changed his tune a little bit, sort of saying, I could admit I had a bad period and that in my career. But
yes and no. I mean, he then said, you know, if you're top on the mountain, you don't really see what's beneath you, sort of thing.
Yeah.
Look, we spoke about this briefly last night because KG was on, so I wanted to get his reaction to it. Yeah. And KG's actually changed his tune a little bit. Yeah. You know, in fairness,
time helps, doesn't it?
Well, and he said he went to the Bernabeu and he kind of knew what Ronaldo was on about.
Yeah. Since he's gone there, he's changed.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. But I just, you know, honestly, I don't really care now. Yeah, like exactly. if he talks shit about United, fine.
Oh, I don't care. It was just an honorary mention to say.
But from a look, it's football perspective. It's an incredible achievement. The fact that he's still playing international football is very, very impressive. And you know, Roberto Martinez as well, new manager for Portugal.
I can't believe that. How's he done?
Anyway, golden generation. That's not. Yeah.
Honestly, it is crazy. Smash the like on the video, subscribe to the channel if you are new. We will be across this. Me and Owen will be back tomorrow morning, 9 a.m.
Oh, yeah, that is a disgrace, by the way. Oh, nearly 1,300 people watching, less than 300 likes.
That is a disgrace and a cheat. Guys, get 500 on the way out. You know what I mean? Unless there is something crazy, like bid accepted tonight, we probably won't be back tonight. I think what can happen over the course of tonight, though, is, you know, Sheikh Jassim submits second bid. But we will see you guys in the morning, I think, regardless of what happens, and we'll go through the next batch of stuff. Then we'll see what happens as this stews. You know, hopefully we get a number on Sir Jim Ratcliffe's bid between now and the morning. That will be interesting to see, because I know a lot of journos will be, a lot of in the knows will be digging around trying to get a number on that. So it'll be interesting to see if we do get some rumors or some fact about that. So we'll see you guys tomorrow morning. Wicked show. The bidding chaos continues. See you tomorrow morning. Peace.